Greetings in the name of Jesus Christ. My name is Diana Haywood. I serve as Vice President of the North Carolina Synod. It was good to be with you in early June at our most recent Synod Assembly, where we approved significant changes to North Carolina Synod's Constitution. In 2018, the North Carolina Synod adopted a new vision. God calls the North Carolina Synod of the ELCA to cultivate vibrant, vital congregations, to identify, equip, and nurture whole and healthy leaders, to embrace and engage in collaboration, and to proclaim the good news of the resurrection with a prophetic voice, all for the sake of the world. As we began to live into this vision, we realized that changes to the Constitution were needed to reflect the new direction of the Synod. Following protocol, changes were identified, approved by the Synod Council, then mailed to every ELCA congregation in the North Carolina Synod. This was done 6 months prior to the 2019 Synod Assembly. Changes were highlighted and discussed at spring conference meetings and were further discussed as an action item on the Assembly floor. The new Constitution was voted on and approved at our 2019 North Carolina Synod Assembly and is now in effect. Let's review some of the notable changes to the Constitution. Moving to an every other year business assembly. Our Constitution allows for an every other year assembly, so we're going to use this option moving forward. The new changes in the Constitution allow us to smoothly transition to the new schedule by completing business and elections in odd years. This does not mean we won't meet every year. In fact, quite the opposite. On even years, we will gather at Lenoir-Rhyne University for a large missional leaders event. This spirited and spiritual event will be open to all lay and rostered leaders in our Synod and will include worship, workshops, keynote speakers, fellowship, and more. We look forward to welcoming several attendees from every congregation for inspiration and equipping. Save the date. It's May 28th through 30th, 2020. Details will be available in early fall of 2019. Spring conference meetings will become spring cluster meetings. Before business assemblies, the 3 clusters, Western, Central, and Eastern, will gather with the bishop for worship, information about the assembly, fellowship, and a meal together. Nominations will no longer be taken from the floor at business assemblies. You will actually have more opportunities and a longer period of time to nominate gifted and talented persons to serve the church. Nominations will be taken electronically at spring cluster meetings, and nominations can be made at the time that registration opens for a business assembly and will continue until the start of that assembly. This will significantly extend the nominations process. Reduction in the number of Synod Council members. Traditionally, the number of Synod Council members has been about 10% of the number of Synod congregations. We currently have almost 200 congregations, and so are reducing the number of Synod Council members from 24 to 15. Additionally, the bishop may appoint up to 4 people. This would allow the Synod Council to reflect the Synod's diversity goals and would also allow for addressing critical but non-represented gifts. This means that it is possible for 19 people to serve. Expanded membership on Synod Council committees. Our Constitution now allows Synod Council committees to include non-Synod Council members who bring a particular expertise. For example, this may include finance or legal expertise. Appointment of conference deans. Each of the 13 conferences currently has a dean serving as an extension of the ministry of the bishop's office. Those pastors are currently elected to serve. The change allows the deans to be appointed by the bishop. The new Synod Constitution does not require your congregation to update your current constitution. This constitution governs the North Carolina Synod and not individual congregations. Following the ELCA Churchwide Assembly this coming August, a new congregational constitution will be available, reflecting changes made at that gathering. Congregations should update their constitutions with those changes. The reference documents for making the changes will be available on the ELCA's website at elca.org, the North Carolina Synod's website at nclutheran.org, or by contacting Michael Denise at the Synod office. Please use this opportunity to review and update your constitution, just as we did at the Synod office. The new North Carolina Synod Constitution, with all changes, will be available on the North Carolina Synod's website. As shared at Synod Assembly, it is all about relationship. I am thankful for the relationships we share, and I am excited for the ways that God is moving across our Synod. As I always tell people, the North Carolina Synod is the place to be.